If you was to ask me what is the single most important day in Bleach Brave Souls history, I'd simply respond with September 30th, 2017, as this day 5 years ago will be remembered by many as the day that changed the course for Bleach Brave Souls. And in today's video, we're here to recap the events of that fateful day, the day 1000 Year Blood War was introduced into the game. Despite the main event of our story taking place September 30th, our actual story begins a few months prior, July 20th. The second anniversary was only 3 days away and was supposed to be a normal Tuesday morning, instead became our first signs of the events that were about to unfold, as out of nowhere, the leak dropped.
And then we scroll down further down the bottom, only to see the manga panels. And again, like, this isn't just any normal manga panels, because this is line art by the looks of it.
They are, for the second anniversary of Bleach Brave Souls, dipping into the manga content, guys.
The 1000 Year Blood War has supposedly been confirmed, guys.
Manga characters are confirmed to be playable for Bleach Brave Souls. This is nearly everywhere now. The excitement is crazy. What's happening coming up the second anniversary and after it?
Now, leaks at this time were kind of rare to say the least. BBS would be sometimes posted into Weekly Shonen Jump, but most of the time it was just old news. However, this time it was different, and nothing could have prepared us for the news this leak was about to bring. 1000 Year Blood War characters will be playable in Bleach Brave Souls. The players went crazy. No one knew what was official or what wasn't. Are we being baited? Is this picture at the bottom of this page just for show? Is this something related to the manga? Is it even related to Bleach Brave Souls? Let's wait for translations. Let's wait for a player that can speak Japanese to officially translate this page and confirm what we are seeing is actually true. All eyes were on that bottom part of the page. So much so, most players didn't even realize that there was a second anniversary character being introduced to the game. That was exciting in of itself, but the most important part was that bottom part, and was it true? The translations then released and confirmed Bleach Brave Souls will be adapting the 1000 Year Blood War arc. And not only that, it's going to start off with an absolute banger, adapting 4 fan favorite characters, Shunsui, Sajin, Byakuya, and also Toshiro. Now, despite the leak of course being very excited, this was news that was supposed to be for the anniversary livestream. So on Caleb's end, it was kind of unfortunate that the big news got revealed a few days earlier. And this news getting leaked was so impactful that even 5 years later, Caleb have made sure to never make that same mistake again. And every time we do get anniversary news posted onto Weekly Shonen Jump, it will always be in the week prior. Now, in this case, the second anniversary livestream was still exciting. Players were waiting for the official reveal of the 1000 Year Blood War characters, and lucky for us, we got spoiled with even more content getting added to the game. Not only did they officially announce the second anniversary Ichigo 1000 Year Blood War, but we also did get news that the movie characters even are getting adapted into the game. And saying players were excited would be an understatement. The hype was at an all-time peak, the future of Bleach Brave Souls was looking great, and at this point all we had to do was wait for the inevitable release of 1000 Year Blood War. Players were nervously anticipating the release of these particular 4 characters that were already confirmed to be in round 1. Now, at this point in time, we knew it was going to happen. Days prior, Caleb have confirmed that they will be at Tokyo Game Show to reveal a big surprise. Not only that, in-game we also saw a drastic change with the fact that Global has now officially caught up to JP. Originally, the Japanese version of Bleach Brave Souls was 30 days ahead of the global version. That meant anytime we got a banner, JP would get a new banner. And that allowed us global players to have basically 1 month of foresight knowing about what was coming next, and that essentially allowed us to save orbs and spend accordingly. Caleb knew that, and they changed that. They made sure, leading up to the release of 1000 Year Blood War, they would make sure that Global would catch up to JP. At the time, players were a bit bitter, as they were now losing that 1 month ahead, but at the same time, players were also looking forward to the simultaneous release of certain banners. And of course, that banner was 1000 Year Blood War Round 1. Now, at this point in time, September 23rd, Caleb themselves hosted a Caleb Game Station at Tokyo Game Show for the year 2017. It was a 7-hour long stream, and right at the end is when they officially revealed that they were coming, giving us a little glimpse of what was to come with these 4 new characters, their specials, their artwork looks absolutely amazing. Despite us getting the sketches month prior and knowing exactly what to expect, it was still enough to amaze us as Bleach Brave Souls players.
They're showing the specials. Yeah!
Oh, damn. Oh, but they're not showing the whole specials, though.
Do you guys understand how insane this is right now? Oh my god. Look at these animations.
And even though the hype for these characters were getting exceedingly higher and higher, all we had to do now was wait a week. We knew they were coming at the end of the month, and that is when we prepared our orbs for the day they officially dropped.
You know, just that alone, I'm ready to summon, man. I'm just so hyped.
They were here, and players were ready.
Come on, man! Boom!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god, no, I didn't! No, I didn't! I got it! I got it! Oh, shit! We got him from a
Oh, you skipped the multi. That's what you do.
The banner would begin September 30th and coincidentally would actually end October 10th, which is the same day 5 years later the Bleach anime does officially start. Now this banner of course stood out not only as the fact that it was the first 1000-year Blood War banner, it also featured 3 amazingly new characters. The first one being Toshiro. Toshiro was by far the fan favorite and also the one that stood out the most when it came to his gameplay, as his gameplay did feature an amazing set of skills. All of his attacks came out super fast and had significantly more range than any character prior, his SA1 being a massive lunge in front of him, his SA2 being a distant AoE in front of him, which is still a very powerful strong attack even 5 years later, and then his SA3 being a standard full-screen strong attack. With the activation time of his attacks, this allowed him to be one of the best PvE characters in the entire game, a very good front runner for guild quests, and also exceedingly powerful in Brave battles. Now keep in mind, Brave battles at this time didn't have a set meta, and essentially any character that had fast activation strong attacks was able to be used, and this Toshiro stood at the front of that, being the most used PvE character and also PvP character. So him being a very powerful character and also looking absolutely stunning, there was a reason why all eyes were on this particular character. Our next character though only has one eye. What is that joke? The new head captain of the Goto 13, Shunsui, is a Sniper/captain with the Hollow Kill ability. Now just like Toshiro, this character also came with an amazing set of skills, stats, and also visuals. Visually, this character was absolutely stunning, and even to this day, in my opinion, is one of the best looking Shunsuis in the game. His SA1 was a lunge forward, his SA2 was a shockwave attack, which was new to the game at this point, and offered a lot of DPS against bosses, which at the time were actually hard to kill, and then his SA3 was a very fast activating strong attack 3. His soul bomb, which was one of the more anticipated things about this character, definitely didn't point, as it does seem activate his Bankai and very smoothly goes through all parts of the attack. And given how powerful the attack was in the manga, he also did introduce the instant kill, where if you do use your soul bomb, every hit has a 5% chance of instantly killing the enemy you attack. Now that was exciting in and of itself, but what really sold this character players was the fact that he could blink. And his lips also moved when he said Bankai. This character was ahead of its time. And that then brings us to our next character, Sajin, a Mind Sniper captain with the Chpater kill ability. Sajin was the normal attack damaging character of the banner, a character that would prioritize doing most of the damage from their normal attack string. This character came with a very impressive set of visuals and also highlighted one of his most powerful strengths, his new Bankai. So to reflect that in game, upon using your soul bomb, your range will be permanently increased, but only on the final attack. And to players, that was exciting and also set up the future for what transforming characters could actually be. So with 3 very exciting characters, all powerful in their own right, demonstrating their abilities quite well in-game, we then had the 4th and final character, Byakuya. Now, Byakuya was a technique sniper captain with the Aaroniero kill ability. The best way to describe Byakuya was the hybrid character. At this point in time, there was 3 types of characters. You're either a normal attack damaging character, a strong attack damaging character, and a character that would specialize in both of those attacks, otherwise known as the hybrid character. Now, Byakuya did introduce a new mechanic into the game, that being a barrier attack. For the most part, at least in the community, Byakuya was known as the test subject. Anytime a new mechanic would be introduced, for some reason, Byakuya would always be the one to have it. In this case, he had the barrier move. Upon activating your SA2, he will apply a 3-hit barrier to himself and a 1-hit barrier to your teammates. That was exciting. It was nice to see new mechanics get introduced to the game alongside new strong attack types. And Byakuya's visuals were great, as far as Byakuya's do go. However, unfortunately, due to him being a hybrid character, he was missing one important skill. That being, of course, Frenzy +1.
Weaken defense, sprinter, and that's it. No frenzy, no flurry. I'm a little disappointed.
Players were furious. I can't believe they done this. Byakuya was my favorite character. What do we want? Byakuya missing a pivotal skill, that being Frenzy +1, just didn't make sense. This was a 1000-year Blood War character. This is supposed to be the pivotal, the climatic version of any character in the game. It cannot get better than this. So how can he not have Frenzy +1? This ultimately made him worse than even premium characters. Players were upset and they wanted to change this. And that's when the petition started. Reddit user Cole Static, as many other players, were disappointed with the way they released this character and wanted to make a change. And to do that, the only thing they could do was make a petition. If we had enough players signing said petition, we would maybe be able to make a change, and maybe Caleb will go out the way and improve and make this character better. The petition, Make 1000-Year Blood War Byakuya Stronger, was quite simple in what it was asking for. They just simply wanted Byakuya to be on par with the other 3000-Year Blood War characters, comparing him to characters like Wonder Weiss and detailing how to make this character better, yet not broken. The petition itself had over 2,700 supporters and even had the support from a known YouTuber at the time, 2Game Productions. Everything was going well, the petition was growing, and then eventually Caleb did officially respond.
While we're at it, I see a lot of comments and I don't mean to ignore it. There is some people out there who are not happy with Byakuya in his 1000-Year Blood War version. We hear you, we got the message, we got the customer support tickets, we saw the petition online, we saw it on Reddit. We see it, a lot of people are disappointed with him. The only thing that we can say at this point is, we're sorry some of you are not happy with him. I pulled him, a lot of other people are happy with him, but hey, it's your right to be disappointed with it. This has been passed, of course, throughout the company.
Yep.
So they will take that into consideration, like for future characters development, for future Byakuya possibly as well. But that's all we can say at the moment. It's not that we're ignoring it. We've seen it. It's
no, and thank you for your feedback and letting us know exactly. Like that is the kind of communication that makes the game better, not just for us, but for you as well.
And all hopes were lost. Byakuya, a character that many were excited for, would forever be a character without Frenzy +1. Despite many signing the petition and many voicing their concerns about this particular character, Caleb did not want to make a change. At the very least though, they did acknowledge the petition, and they did say it won't happen again. Well, it happened again. In fact, it was made worse at the end of the year. We then got a new Rukia that was basically what Byakuya should have been. And that brings us to today. October 2022. A lot of things have changed since 5 years ago. Many players have quit, many players have joined, game modes have come, game modes have gone, we've gotten a handful of new 1000-Year Blood War characters, and alongside that, the 1000-Year Blood War anime is now officially airing. And with that, to celebrate the release of the 1000-Year Blood War anime, the 4 very first 1000-Year Blood War characters received their resurrection. Toshiro picked up 16% extra string attack damage on his soul trait, making him a very powerful link for the power attribute, and at the same time he also did pick out 20% havoc, increasing the range of his already powerful strong attacks, and also does 20% more damage to frozen enemies. Shunsui picked up the ever-needing 10% recharge on his soul trait, allowing his strong attacks to come back faster, and also being a very powerful link for the speed attribute, and alongside that he also picked up 20% more damage at full stamina, and also follow-up, making him a pretty decent character. Sergeant picked up minus 12% damage taken as a soul trait, again making him a very powerful soul trait for the mind attribute, and at the same time he did pick up 3 new skills, Bruiser plus 30%, follow-up, and also weaken defense. Unfortunately, missing pivotal skills such as guard break that truly would have made this character usable in today's meta. And then that brings us once more to the final character of the banner, Byakuya. Now, despite Byakuya being the worst in the banner, a lot of eyes were on this particular resurrection, as giving him Frenzy would have made him a pretty good character even in today's meta. And given the fact that Caleb acknowledged our Petition all those years ago, everyone was hoping the character would get the justice he deserved. And upon resurrecting, he got the 10% recharge that he wanted on his soul trait, therefore making him a good link for the technique attribute, and for the skills, well, he picked up multi-barrier +2 and devastation +30. We lost. 5 years later, Byakuya couldn't even get Frenzy. So what happens? Well, history repeats itself.
Alright, boys. It is about that time. We have waited patiently for about over 5 years. We finally got the resurrection information, and Byakuya doesn't have Frenzy. However, we can still do this petition all over again.
And there we have it. 1000 Year Blood War Round 1, 5 years later. Did they get the justice they deserve? Let me know in the comments below. Looking forward, we have a lot of exciting things coming our way. New 1000 Year Blood War episodes, 1000 Year Blood War characters getting introduced for the first time in Bleach Brave Souls, and also 1000 Year Blood War Round 2 getting their 5-year anniversary. There's a good reason to assume that they are also going to get their resurrection potentially sometime at the end of the year, which coincidentally is also going to line up with the anime adaptation of Retsu and Kenpachi. If you know what happens with that, you know. But with that said, lads, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think about this series in the comments below. I do want to do this every time we get to a 5-year anniversary, so definitely do expect round 2 5 years later, sometime at the end of the year, and so forth with round 3, 4, and potentially round 5, 6, 7, 8, whenever they get their inevitable resurrections. And I do want to mention at the end too, any YouTuber that I use their video in, it will be linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out. Some of them still do content, so it's definitely worth supporting them. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.